I have over 80 hours in Rivals of Aether. And yet to this day, I have never touched the story mode of this game. So that's what I'm doing today. Now I see there are 6 little stories here, each with different characters. Start with Treetop Lodge. Crag is my guy, that's my main. So we're gonna go with him first. We could, save the best for last, I guess, but instead we're just gonna do him first. Let's do him first. Let's do what I know first. Let's get the one that I know out of the way first. So it says Aether Tales, new story available. You could view story or skip story. We're gonna view the story because I'm not familiar with this story mode. Crag's life is slow and meditative. His people, the wall builders, to devote their entire lives to maintaining the Great Rock Wall. They alone wield the power to manipulate great masses of stone. Most wall builders are born on the wall and will circle the whole Aetherian forest 3 times during their lifetimes, never setting foot on the ground below. Interesting. Learning the Crag lore, learning the lore about my main. So now y'all get to see just how good I am at fighting games. It's platform fighters specifically, or should I say how lackluster I am. Because I'm like just okay. Like I'm in that group of people where I'm like good enough to beat my friends. But like one time I went to a Smash tournament and I got my butt kicked. Like absolutely, completely and absolutely, utterly butt kicked. But utterly kicked. Yeah, my Crag's pretty good, I think. The CPUs in this game, from what I know, are not that good. So that really doesn't show a whole lot about my abilities in this game. Oh, okay. One day, Crag comes upon a huge breach in the northern wall. He has never seen such destruction, and fears the threat that might have entered the forest. So I have not touched these, I've never done this story mode type of thing, but I have seen like YouTubers do it before. When I say YouTubers, I mean Alfred. I saw Alfred do it one time. He did like one video on it, I think. I've watched a load of his videos. I'd say I've watched almost every Alfred video. And he's played a lot of this game, and so I think he only did one video on it. I think I would know if he did another video on it, just because I've watched like basically all his videos. But I can only recall one video that he did on it, so I don't know a whole lot about it. But I do know that like, if I remember correctly, the stories are like interconnected. So like, yes, they're all different characters, and like all the different characters have their own stories, but the stories like connect with each other. If I remember correctly, like certain characters are connected to other characters' stories in different ways. Yeah. In Smash, I play Jigglypuff, which is obviously like one of the lightest characters in the game. So I think it's funny that I play Crag in this game, because that's like the complete opposite. Like in this game, Crag, I believe, is like the heaviest. Crag begins the laborious process of summoning rocks to repair the wounded wall. He must heal it quickly to protect the precious Aetherian forest from outside threats. Suddenly, the unthinkable happens. Crag is attacked from inside the wall. Oh, I wonder who this attack came from. It came from Forsburn, I think. Is that what that means? We're fighting Forsburn now? Are the fights actually connected to the story? I'm just noticing, by the way, that my percentage actually stays from the past battle. So I guess this is like a gauntlet, where you have 3 stocks. Because I just noticed, first of all, that my percentage is staying from the previous battle. Second, that I have 3 stocks. So I'm guessing that I only have that amount of stocks to do like all these matches. And the matches are just going to keep getting harder, because I got a gold on the first fight in this story mode, which I believe was Zetterburn. I could be incorrect, because like I said in previous videos, my memory sucks. If you're new to the channel, that's something you should know about me. My memory is not very good at all. But yeah, I got a silver on that last one, while I got a gold on the first one, and I got a silver on this one too. So, if it keeps getting harder, I might even get a copper on the next one. Like I said, not terribly good at this game. Good enough to kick my brother's butt in it, but by no means good at the game. Crag's rock-bound mind can barely process what he sees. The Great Wall was made to protect the treetop dwellers, but now one of them is mounting an attack from within. Oh no. Is that Maple? It didn't look like Maple, it didn't look like the right colors for Maple, but it looked like sort of like the right body shape for Maple. But I guess it can't be like too terrible at this game because I'm still at 3 stocks. My goal is just like at this point to do all of this without losing a stock. Because I am at a... I did get a gold on that one. That's cool. See, I don't know why... Because you'd expect it to get harder as it went on, but that one I got a gold on, while the previous 2 I got silver on. That is a maple. That is maple. But colors weren't... I saw that it wasn't green, I was like, is that maple? It was maple. It's just like a shadow maple. Outraged, Crag steps up the wall for the first time in his life to confront the treetop traitor, Maple, vigilante of the forest. Meanwhile, bystanders gather. The treetop dwellers... Treetop dwellers... No, the treetop dwellers only see Crag trespassing on the forest floor to attack one of their own. Outraged, they vow retaliation on their former allies, the wall builders. See, I'm learning the lore. I'm like MatPat, I'm learning the lore here. Telling you guys all about the lore of this game. So basically, there's like... There's wall builders, which is like Crag species, and they build a wall around like the nature people, because they are like in sort of nature class. If you look at like... Basically the roster of this game is like split up into different factions. So you have like the nature ones, you have like the water ones, you have the fire ones, you have the wind ones. And Maple and Crag are in like the same class, but apparently they are like... I guess they're like a cooperative species, like they work together, like one builds a wall for the other. But they don't like live in the same place exactly. Dang it! There goes my 3 stock at this story mode here. But, I don't know. I've done like tutorials in this game. On the Nintendo Switch version of this game, I did like all this game's tutorials. And I thought some of the tutorials were like pretty difficult. And to be fair, I did do those a long time ago. So maybe I have gotten like considerably better at platform fighters since. Oh, saved myself. Okay. Nice save. Quick save there. I cannot play Maple for the life of me, I'm gonna be honest. Like, people who play Maple, I just don't get it. I don't particularly get a lot of characters in this game besides Crag. Raster I also don't like some more than others. Some I get more than others, some I don't like. I don't get a lot of characters besides Crag. I don't understand how to play them. Like, mostly, like, Crag is by far my best. But, there are some characters that I understand, like, even less than average. Like, there are characters that I'm really good at, which is basically, like, just Crag. And then, there's someone else. I played too many mods in this game. I use way too many mods when playing this game. To the point where I don't even know what characters I'm like actually good at, like normal characters in this game. But yeah, that's how you get 80 hours in this game. I have never won a match online, never done the story mode, and yet I have 80 hours just because I love messing around with mods in this game. The game has such a fantastic modding community, it's great. And they make like the fun, they have a perfect mix of like funny mods, but also just like really cool mods. Like, some are just like funny joke characters. Oh, I got a Steam achievement. A rocky start. Complete Crag story mode. It's nice. Got a copper on the Maple fight. See, slowly we go down. We did like, we started with gold. We got 2 silvers. Then we went back up to gold. Somehow. And then we went to copper. To Crag's amazement, the purple treetop dweller vanishes. Mayreed, younger son of Maple, approaches and drops a letter on the forest floor. The letter explains that the shadowy warrior couldn't have been the real Maple, because she left moons ago to find the source of the strange purple disease in the forest. Is that the strange purple disease, the thing with like the consuming the rock? Crag realizes that the only way to protect his beloved wall and forest is to leave them. Mayreed sends Lily with Crag. Wait, too many words. Too many names. Mayreed, which is the squirrel person, sends Lily, which I'm guessing is the flower, with Crag, which is me, to help him track down Maple in the middle of her quest. Okay, chapter clear. Is that it? I don't know how long these are. Is that like... Yeah, so I'm guessing that's it for Crag. Now we're gonna move on to Raster. A character that I... like, that is probably... I'm probably even worse at than Maple. I just can't play Raster. Raster and Bradshaw are top wingmen in the Air Armada, an elite aerial military that ranges above the whole Aetherian continent. The Air Armada pillages merchant transports and harasses unguarded Fire Empire outposts. Raster alone among the Armada flyers is known to break ranks for personal glory. Raster is a brilliant but unpredictable flyer. Bradshaw is cautious but steady. They have been best friends and unlikely partners since their days in the Air Academy. See, this is too much lore to the point where, like, I'm only taking in, like, some of it. Because the thing is, like, the thing about Smash is that, like, there are so many, like, at least in Smash, they're not trying to, like, give you the lore for characters while you're in Smash, you know? It's not, like, overwhelming you with all this lore. Like, you don't need to get the lore to play Smash. In this, like, all the characters in Rivals of Aether are from Rivals of Aether, unless it's, like, Ori or Shovel Knight. So this is, like, they have all these characters that you can play as, and then they're like introducing you to all their lore, and it's just so much to process. Like, I'm reading it, but I'm not getting it. I'm not, like, understanding. I'm reading, but I'm not understanding. It's not, my brain's not processing it. While soaring above the Aetherian forest on a routine scouting mission, Raster spots a destroyed section of the rock wall. Raster swoops in to investigate while Bradshaw follows. The two friends pirouette in the air, showing off for each other, then fly in fast and reckless. So, we're fighting Maple now. See, this is what I was talking about with, like, the connected stories, is that they're all different stories. Every character has their own, like, different single-player story, but they're all connected. Like, we started with Crag at the wall, and his wall broke, and he was like, oh no, my wall! And now we're over here with Raster, who is flying with Bradshaw, and they're like, oh look, a broken wall. And then we're fighting Maple now. Which once again, I don't know if that's, like, part of it. I don't know if we're supposed to be, if we're fighting Maple, like, as a canon thing, or it's just, like, we're fighting Maple because we need to have a fight here to progress in, like, story. But before we progress in the story, we have to have a fight, because this is not just, like, a storybook, this is, like, an actual story mode. Like, this is a single-player mode in this game, so there have to actually be fights. Like, I don't know if this fight is actually canon, or it's just there for the sake of being a fight and separating the story. But either way, we are fighting Maple. Whether canonically or not, we are fighting Maple. I just realized, is the timer ticking down? Because I don't think I spent 54 seconds. Oh, wait, I did. Okay. Timer is not ticking down. Timer is ticking up. Timer is telling me how bad I am at this game because I haven't killed the enemy yet. Meanwhile, on the wall below, Crag, a wall builder, has just returned from a confrontation on the forest floor. He anxiously repairs the wall, impatiently, calling up the stone. When Crag sees Raster and Bradshaw diving towards the wall, he braces for attack. Oh no, Bradshaw! Assuming that the Air Armada is taking advantage of the weakness in his wall, Crag pulls up a rock and hurls it upwards, smashing Bradshaw out of the sky. That is a fantastic shot. Love the sprite work in this game. Like, sprite work's good, and then just, like, the sprite art. Like, you got the sprite work that is just, like, all the characters look really nice with their sprites and, like, 8-bit. It's not 8-bit. It's definitely not 8-bit. I don't know, like 16-bit? I don't really know what you would call this. I don't really know about, like, what different bit counts look like. But all I know is, like, it's a retro feel. That much I do understand. That much I can see from looking at it. It feels very retro. It's got, like, a nice, got nice sprite work. And so, like, already the game just looks like all the sprites for the characters look wonderful, and all, like, the sprites for the stages, and, like, all the stages look good too. Obviously, Rivals 2 has, like, 3D models, and I'm not really a fan of that, because, like, yeah, it's cool to see, like, graphical upgrade and all, but at the same time, I think that there's something really charming about just, like, the pixel art of the original Rivals of Aether, and also just, I'd imagine that now that they've converted to 3D models, it's going to be much harder to mod, which is one of my main things about Rivals of Aether. Like, obviously, there are tons of platform fighters out there, not as much as, like, regular fighting games, because it's sort of, like, just a subset of that genre. And platform fighters are for sure very different from, like, typical fighting games. The intense force of the wall builder's projectile propels Bradshaw into the unyielding rock wall, rendering the aerial ace unconscious. Aerial ace? That's a Pokemon move. I know about that. I'm a Pokemon guy. I know. I know Aerial Ace. That has like 60 power and never misses, right? Fact check me, guys. Tell me if I'm correct. As if I don't already know. Oh, okay. I did not realize my 5% was that high. But yeah. Like, switching from, like, switching from sprites to 3D models, I'm not, like, too... I obviously have said about how I feel about that with Pokemon before, where I'm like, okay, I don't mind it necessarily. The sprites had charm, and I could see why people miss it, but for me, however, I really don't mind all that much. I do find it cool to see Pokemon in 3D, like certain Pokemon, and I definitely do miss some things about the sprites, but with Pokemon, it's not, like, too big a deal. With Rivals of Aether, I genuinely feel like, just like, why? I genuinely am kinda upset about Rivals 2 switching to 3D models. Because not only does it mean that the cool sprite work is gone, but also that it's just harder to mod. And there are a lot of platform fighters out there, a lot of cool platform fighters. Not nearly as many games as like traditional fighting games, because traditional fighting games have been around for like much longer. But and Smash is really like the standout platform fighter, and for a while I think that was like the only one. But yeah, Smash just sort of like birthed the entire genre, which I think is crazy that like an entire genre came out of Smash Bros. But like Smash Bros is really cool. People love Smash Bros. I get it. Smash Bros is awesome. But like the thing that separates Rivals of Aether from other platform fighters is just like the amazing modding community. Because Smash Bros has mods. Smash Bros has like a good modding community or whatever. But like nothing compared to Rivals of Aether in my opinion. At least not Smash Ultimate. I think Brawl has like better. I think Brawl has a much better modding community than Ultimate. Because they have like Project M is Brawl, right? I don't know. Seeing his wingman in peril, Raster erupts into a blind fury, screeching in rage. He wheels in midair and launches himself at the rock creature. Oh, that's interesting. So, Crag was fighting a Shadow Maple, which made me think that like all the final bosses of these would be like shadow versions of other fighters, but no, this is just like regular Crag. I'm just fighting like a normal Crag here. I am going to probably die, because I've been paying attention to talking when I should have been paying attention to playing Raster. Because I already stink at Raster enough without not paying attention to what I'm doing. So, I am also noticing, I don't play this character enough to like actually know what his moves are, but are my strong attacks the same as like my normal attacks? Because that just looks like the strong. What I just did. I don't know. Yeah, that attack where he does like the wing. Because I pressed the strong. That's just the same attack. Huh. Weird. So now I am down a stock and about to die. He is just like, he's 112 on first stock. I am 148 on last stock. So this is not looking good for me. Probably should have been paying more attention since I'm playing a character I don't know how to play. Probably should be doing less talking, more rastering. But I just keep on going for the wacky wing move because I think it's going to do something cool. And it doesn't have the kill power that I was expecting it to. But this should kill. No, it does not. My gosh, it really does not have the kill power, does it? I don't get how to play Raster. How do I kill with this dang character? Does this kill? You see, that's just like... But that's like the same as this. I don't understand why my strong and my, like, normal are the same attack. Is that just a feature of the character? That he has, like, no real strong attacks, so he's, like, a combo kind of character? I don't know. These dash attacks are putting in work, though. If I gotta spam dash attack to win this, then I'm not above that. I'm not above that strategy. I always trash talk the CPUs in this game. So if I lose to a CPU right now, I'm gonna be mad. So I'm just gonna not do that. And I understand that spamming dash attack is not an honorable way to win a CPU. And frankly, that doesn't say a lot about my skill if I win against a CPU like that. But I don't even care. I just will do any fighting strategy necessary to not lose to a CPU, but there I go, losing to a CPU. So what happens now? Let's pretend I just did that out of curiosity, right? I definitely just did that out of curiosity. So, what did I press? I don't even know what I pressed. So I can just continue from where I left off. That's nice. So I'm guessing if you press give up, you just have to start all over. Or I don't know. I'll have to press give up next time I lose, if I ever lose again. I probably won't, because I'm just so good at this game. But that's a lie, by the way. That's like, that's sarcasm. I am not, as I've said before, not like terribly good at this game. But yeah, what I find really interesting is that the thing about Rivals of Aether that is so intriguing is just like the amazing modding community, because like Smash Ultimate, like whatever Project M is, I don't know if that's Melee or if it's Brawl, like, or if it's Brawl, because obviously the M would indicate that it's Melee, but I'm not really too involved with, I don't really know a lot about old Smash games. I started playing Smash with Smash 4, and I've played a heck of a lot of Ultimate, but I don't really know a lot about the older games, so I don't know if... I'm aware that Project M is a thing that exists, but I don't know if that's Brawl or Melee. The M seems to indicate to me that it would be Melee, but I feel like also I remember it not being Melee. Because I remember, like, I remember, like, thinking about that before. Like, oh yeah, it's Project M, M is for Melee. But the fact that, but, like, I remember that being false. Like, I remember being astounded at the fact that I remember being confused at the fact that it wasn't Melee, because I thought Project M the M stood for Melee. So I remember it not standing for Melee, because I was surprised that it wasn't, is what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is that the fact is that, like, it's confusing that, it's Project M, but M is not for Melee. Or maybe it is, but, it's not in Melee, which I would think it would be, because it's Project M, and I thought M would be for Melee. But, so that's confusing that it wouldn't be Melee because it's Project M, but the very fact that that's confusing is the reason why I seem to remember that it is not Melee, that it is Brawl. And I have seen a lot of Brawl mods, so I'd imagine, like, I think that Brawl is, like, the easiest game to mod, easiest Smash game to mod, and if it's not, then, maybe it's just the one that people mod the most, but I definitely do see, like, the best quality of Smash mods for Brawl. Victorious against the Wall Builder, Raster carefully picks up his injured friend and carries him back to the Air Armada. I do like Injured Friend here. I don't remember what Injured Friend's name is, but Injured Friend is definitely a really cool design here. He looks like ORCANE, but if ORCANE was a bird. Raster is ridden with guilt for allowing his reckless bravado to endanger his devoted brother in arms. He swears to find Crag and seek revenge. These are some big words. What's a bravado? Meanwhile, below, Crag picks himself up and quickly repairs the wall. Mysteriously, the wall builder sets off east, accompanied by a small Aetherian companion, Vine. You can see that's that's referencing the ending that we just saw with Crag earlier. So now we're gonna go Air Armada. I believe they just mentioned the Air Armada with Raster's story, and now we're going to Air Armada with ORCANE, which is strange to me because, or I would imagine that, ORCANE would be like in the ocean, but apparently they're in the air instead. The board members of the Water Trading Company are furious that the Air Armada has destroyed their flagship and constantly pillages their trade routes. They hatch a plan to infiltrate the Air Armada and bring it down once and for all. However, there is one creature in Merchant Port that can breach Armada's defenses, ORCANE. Because ORCANE has feet, so they can not only walk on land, but also go on the air, right? Go in the air, right? I'm guessing. These guys also might have feet. That fish has hands. Could have feet too. Maybe they're just like standing on their flippers. An elusive trickster, ORCANE steals from the WTC, what is the WTC, and gives to the underpaid company workers. However, the chairman announces that they will bargain with the notorious thief. Oh, he's a thief. That's interesting. See, I remember the interesting lore. like, whatever just happened with Raster, it's like, whatever. I don't even remember his friend's name, because that's not interesting. His design was interesting. The friend himself was not very interesting. He was just kind of there. Like, Raster was there, and he was also just kind of there. And they were there together. They're just kind of, both just kind of there. But my brother plays ORCANE. My brother's main is ORCANE. And, I am not nearly, I don't think I'm as good as at ORCANE as he is, but, I definitely am slightly pretty familiar with how to play it, just because I've seen him play it, and I've done, like, ORCANE dittos with him before. I definitely have more experience playing ORCANE than I do with, say, Raster. The chairman knows ORCANE's fondness for the poor fisherman Nesbit and his granddaughter. Nesbit's low wages are barely enough to put food on the table. She's so cute. Nesbit's granddaughter. She's so cute. She's riding ORCANE. That's awesome. That's adorable. The chairman appears at the docks and offers a feast for ORCANE's adopted family. However, in exchange, the family must convince ORCANE to do the bidding of the WTC. They probably said what WTC was already, and I already forgot. I probably, like, literally read it and just forgot about it, like, instantly. But the savvy Nesbit bargains for more. A yearly feast for all the workers of Merchant Port. 1 day of holiday each week and representation at WTC board meetings. The chairman frowns. It is a steep bargain, but he is forced to agree. So basically, ORCANE's a thief, and they want him to steal from the Air Armada because the Air Armada is getting in the way of the WTC's shipments. And the WTC is like the fish shipping organization. They're like businessmen fish. And ORCANE is half orca, half dog for some reason. It's interesting. Where's the explanation for that? Why is ORCANE like a dog orca? Like, all these other fish are just like fish. Like, the fish businessman was just a fish. The squid businessman was just a squid. The other businessman, that I can't remember what animal he was just that other animal. And the guy who they are, Nesbit. Nesbit seems to be just like a fish. Not like half anything else, just fish. A catfish? Possibly? I don't know. I'll have to take another look at it. Forsburn, though. I don't think I've ever played Forsburn in my life, and I think he also has a story, if I remember correctly from what I saw earlier. Maybe I don't, because my memory stinks, as I've addressed in the past. But ORCANE he's got a suitcase here. Nesbit's granddaughter is the only one who can convey the plan to ORCANE. The water creature agrees. He will do anything to help his adoptive family. Adoptive or adopted? I guess it doesn't matter. Using his mysterious water powers to sneak into the Armada through an unguarded sink. It's through an underground sink in the Air Armada. They keep their sinks underground. They live in the air, but they keep their sinks underground. ORCANE sniffs his way through the airship, seeking the WTC's stolen goods. Get it, ORCANE? Slay with your doggy nose. So now it's ORCANE versus Maple, which seems to be completely unrelated to the Air Armada, because Maple wouldn't be found in the air, especially if all these stories are taking place like around the same time. Maple would be found. Maybe they are actually in the air, because we don't know where Maple went. We obviously saw that Crag was fighting like Shadow Maple, because like the shadows and darkness and stuff were invading the forest, and that's like the whole conflict that caused Maple to leave the forest in the first place. Oh, they have like the little plant thing. I don't play Maple, so I don't know what that does. Oh, it bites me. That's interesting. It's kind of odd to me that I actually haven't run into that yet. Ooh, that nice edge guarding I did there. Like, down tilt, forward smash. I'm just gonna call it forward smash. Every once in a while. Like, I do say strong. I believe that's what it's called in this game. That's what it's called in a lot of games. Like, the stronger attack than, like, the neutral one, the normal one is like the strong attack, which makes sense because it's stronger. But in Smash Bros, it's called a smash attack, and so since I play a lot of Smash Bros, I tend to say smash attack pretty often, like forward smash, down smash, up smash. I tend to go with that. I tend to say that a lot. Anyway, suddenly, ORCANE happens upon a strange scene. He spies the Air Armada's commander selling the chairman's goods, worth millions in exchange for a single scroll. Dang, that fish is swimming in cash. Pun very intended. This is no ordinary scroll. It's a shimmering, shifting map illustrating weak points in the defense. That's not how you spell defense. In the defense of every civilization across the surface of Aether. Is that how you spell defense? I don't know. Fairly sure that's not how you spell defense. I should know these things because I play Pokemon, and that's a stat in Pokemon. It's a stat in a lot of RPGs. I play a bunch of RPGs. Actually, do I play a bunch of RPGs, or is it just Smash? Like, do I just feel not Smash, Pokemon? Is it just Pokemon, or do I play actually a bunch of RPGs? I feel like I don't play. I feel like I play a lot of RPGs, but maybe that's just because I'm like, oh yeah, I play a lot of Pokemon, and Pokemon is like technically an RPG. I don't know. Let me try to think of like other RPGs I've played. I kind of am confused. I do get confused often about like what constitutes an RPG, because it's role-playing game. Obviously that's what RPG stands for. And I know that like I can identify a turn-based RPG, you know, because it's like turn-based. And I can like, and games that are turn-based, which are not turn-based RPGs, I can identify. Like obviously I know that like Uno is turn-based, but that is not an RPG. Mind you, an Uno turn-based RPG would probably go hard. But I understand that Uno, while turn-based, is not an RPG. Puzzle Quest, while turn-based, probably not an RPG. Could be, but like, I don't think so. Which is where the whole, what I mean when I say like I don't understand what really constitutes an RPG, because I'm dead. Because RPG stands for role-playing game, and I'm just like, like. Don't you play a role in, like, every game? Like, there are very few games where you don't play a role. In, like, the world where it takes place. Like, I guess it can be argued that, like, certain board games you don't, because you're not really playing any role besides you're just playing a card. Like, Uno! Uno is definitely not a role-playing game, because you're not playing a role. I can understand that. But, like, other things, I can't really separate, like, whether it's a role-playing game or not. Like, I don't understand, like, where the separation lies with RPGs. Like an RPG versus not an RPG, because role-playing game just feels like such a broad term to me. Distracted by this newfound intrigue, ORCANE is startled by the appearance of Raster and Bradshaw. That's Friend's name! The two Armada wingmen are amazed to find a water dweller inside the Armada. Me too, like that's what I was asking at the beginning, like why is ORCANE in the Armada? But now, I have learned the story, I have learned the lore, and I am aware of why he is here. He is here to steal, because he is a thief. You learn something new every day. Raster, ever the hothead, shoves his wingman to the side, and challenges the water creature to close quarters combat. Bruh, it's like Fox and Valko, but if they were both Valko. I feel like Raster has much more Valko energy than Bradshaw does, though. I don't know a lot about Star Fox besides that the characters are in Smash and people played them in Melee. Played them in Melee? We're both in Melee? We're both Valko and Fox in Melee? I don't know. Like I said, don't know a lot about old Smash games. I'm pretty sure Valko was in Melee. Wolf was introduced in Brawl, I know that. I did not know that until recently, though. I thought he was introduced in Smash Ultimate. And then I saw him in Brawl, and I was like, oh, okay. But, yeah, I don't know, I just thought that he was from Smash Ultimate because Smash Ultimate had that villain thing going on. Like, it introduced the Ridley and K rule. It felt like they were really leaning into the villain theme with Smash Ultimate. So I kind of thought that Wolf was also, like, part of that, leaning into the villain theme thing. Also, they have 2 stocks. Is this the final boss of this? I hope so, because I'm on last stock at 104. So I might need to start playing a little dirty here. Playing a little scummy if I want to win this. So I can't get hit too many more times without dying. Please stop killing me. Don't worry, I played Raster. I know that Raster can't kill for heck. Can't kill for crap even. Can't kill for heck doesn't really make any sense as a phrase. But then again, most potty mouth phrases don't. Like people say cool as hell, and it's like hell isn't very cool. Actually, it's quite hot, from what I hear. But he's probably gonna, yep, slap me, give me the clap, give me like the Wario clap, but he's not Wario, he's a bird. Give up. What happens if I give up? Then I just fall. Then ORCANE just dies. He's wiped from the roster. I have to start all over, don't I? Yeah, it says start. Alex Espion, it says 0 time. There's 0 time listed because it was not a complete run. And we skip story because we know it all. So if I just press skip story, does it skip all of them? Or does it keep asking me? I imagine since it didn't keep asking me whether to view it or not, when I press view, it won't ask me won't keep asking me whether to view it or not when I press skip. But, yeah. In Smash Ultimate, at least, like, the level 9 CPUs in that game are, like, a challenge, to the point where, like, even if I don't have friends over, I could just, like, have a little bit of a challenging time, like, fighting CPUs. But, like, in this game, CPUs just stink. Like, I was gonna, in this game, play, like, a bunch of matches against level 9 CPUs, you know, do a little, like, training, do a little bit, just, like, pass some time, or maybe just, like, pass some time. But level 9 CPUs in this game just ain't doing it for me. They're not that good. Like, and I know that Smash CPUs have gotten better, and from what I hear, Smash Ultimate does have, like, the best CPUs to date. And, besides, like, obviously, cool Smash CPUs are crazy. They are absolutely nuts, and yet they still, that's something that's crazy to me about cool Smash, is that, like, the CPUs are absolutely nuts in terms of power level. But I'm not actually, like, doing it. I'm realizing right now that I am using so little strategy in these matches. I'm paying so much attention to talking that I'm not really, like, actually doing things that are strategical. I'm just kind of pressing buttons. Like, I just, like, realized, like, I just came to the conclusion, like, I haven't placed down a single puddle as ORCANE. What am I doing? Like, I am not playing this character correctly. I'm just pressing buttons. I'm just pressing buttons for the sake of pressing buttons here. No wonder I lost to, Raster, I believe it was? Yeah, Raster. Because I freaking am not playing the game right. I'm not playing the character. I'm just sort of playing a character. I'm not playing the character. I'm not playing ORCANE. I'm just playing any character. I'm just pressing buttons. The buttons that I am pressing do not matter. They do not change with the character. I'm just kind of pressing buttons. Also, it's very interesting that this tree's leaves are red, and I'm sure there's a lore reason for that too. I'm sure when we get to Maple's story mode, if there is a story mode for Maple, it will tell us all about that. How why the leaves are red. And I understand that leaves in real life are red too, and I believe that maple trees do have red leaves. Because I mean, well, I guess I was gonna hold on. What the heck? My combo game's insane. I love, what move is that? What move is that? Yeah, I love forward air into forward air into forward air. That's a great combo. That's a great ORCANE combo. It's like almost as good as like Super Mario, as like Mario and Smash Bros. Like up air into up air into up air. What a great combo. What a great, hard to pull off combo that requires so much skill. But one time with Raster, I did get a, like, one that wasn't like silver or bronze or gold. I did get a badge that was like something else. It looked like a badge, not a medal. Because I said badge, but I meant like they look more like medals now that I look at it than badges. But that one did not look like more like a medal than a badge. It looked like a badge. It was like darker than silver, but it was still gray. So I don't really know what that was, but it definitely was like a different medal or even like badge looking thing than the other ones I've been getting. So I don't know how I got that. I'd imagine that I didn't do like, I'd imagine it's not as good as gold, because then it would be like golden. I'd imagine that like, and it's not even, I'd imagine it's not even as good as silver. I'd imagine it's like in between silver and copper. But it's weird to me that I've only gotten it once, if that's like the only thing. It's like silver and copper. Oh wait, I pressed skip story, so I'm not going to be able to see the end of this. Oh, I really want to see the end of this, actually. It just dawned on me that, like, I haven't, since I pressed skip story, it's going to skip all of them. And that includes the one that after I beat him, which, since I haven't beat him yet, I've never seen before. So I probably want to, like, actually do this again, so that I can see that. Also, that was oddly fast. Glad with how quickly I finished, glad with how quickly I was able to kill him there. Especially now that I know I'm doing this again. But oh my gosh, he is just, oh yeah, see, that's why you put the puddle down, so you can actually recover as ORCANE. very, very crucial, the puddle, because it allows you to like not only extend the range of your attacks, but also allows you to like actually recover. And you could do that with it too. I completely forgot you could do that with it, and that was just a misplay. And I don't really understand like a massive purpose for that. Like I'd imagine it's like it's for combo potential, right? Like you just like, because it like stuns them in the air a bunch. It gives off a lot of hit stun, like repeatedly. So it just sort of like, it goes like boom, 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 and it keeps them in the air for a while. So I'd imagine that's for like combo potential purposes, because it doesn't do too much damage. I'd imagine it's not for like damage dealing. I'd imagine it's for like setting up combos, because that makes more sense considering how little damage it does, how little knockback. I'd imagine it's not used as a killing tool at all. Complete ORCANE story mode, got it. And that's that. But we're gonna do it again because we didn't see the actual story of the story mode. So let's see if I can beat my record. Let's see if I can do even better this time. And this time I'm going to view the story, not skip it. Get off a skip. And then we're just going to, like, actually... It's not going to skip the story, but we're going to skip the story. Because we're going to keep on pressing A until we get into battle again. But yeah, like, Smash Ultimate introduced Ridley as well as King K. Rool. So, like, that's obviously, like, villain of Metroid and villain of Donkey Kong. So, and also it introduced Dark Samus as well, which is like another villain in Metroid. So I thought they were just like leaning in on the whole baddie thing hard. And that's why they introduced Wolf as well. But Wolf is just another villain character that was added to Smash prior to Ultimate, I guess. I don't know, because I feel like there's not a lot of Star Fox games, so it's really interesting to me that they have 3 representatives in Smash. It's like, how does Star Fox have as many reps in Smash as Kirby does? I'd imagine it's just because, like, Sakurai is really modest, right? Like, because I love Kirby, as I've said before. So I am not a big fan of the lack of Kirby characters in Smash. I hope that if there is another Smash game ever, which, it's becoming increasingly unlikely as time goes on, because it's been, how long since we got Smash Ultimate? I don't even know. But obviously, I would be absolutely ecstatic about a new Smash game if that were to ever happen. And, just no matter what, but, like, what would really make me happy with a new Smash game was just another Kirby rep, because the Kirby reps for Smash are just, like, so basic. When other games have, when other series, when other franchises have like, such interesting representatives, it is sort of upsetting to me that the reps for Kirby are so lame. It's like, obviously, like, cover the main ones, you know? Like, King Dedede, Meta Knight, and Kirby as Kirby reps makes sense, but I feel like there should be more to it than that, more Smash. More Kirby reps in Smash than just those, because Kirby has just, like, a lot of characters. And I think that a lot of them would be really cool and interesting in Smash, because a lot of Kirby characters just have, like, really interesting powers. Like, imagine Magolor in Smash, right? Like, that'd be crazy, because Magolor has, like, all these spells, and, like, just look at his, like, Kirby Star Allies appearance, and it's like, you got so much to work with. You can make, like, an entire moveset just out of his appearance in Kirby Star Allies. He does, like, that much, he has, like, that many inputs in that game. Like, in that game, you could just, like, throw gem apples, you can just, like, tether right back to me, huh? Just like I can recover from basically anywhere, you can also recover from basically anywhere. But yeah, like in Kirby Star Allies, you can like throw gem apples with Magolor. Like Magolor can like throw gem apples. He can put people in the lore and like yeet them, which I think is awesome, because that's not something that you'd really expect Magolor to do, I don't think. Like, obviously Magolor does fight you with the lore in Kirby Return to Dreamland. It also is really cool, because there are so many like Kirby bosses, and they all like, there are so many Kirby final bosses, so many different Kirby final bosses. It's not like Bowser, where it's like that's the final boss of every Mario game. Like with Kirby, there's like a bunch of different final bosses. There's a bunch of different characters that play the roles of final bosses, and so obviously it would make sense for them to do a bunch of different abilities. And a lot of them do, I feel, fall into the trap of just like shoot laser or blow something up. Like a lot of them do feel like a little bit repetitive with their movesets, but it's good to have like. But I feel like they all have things that like deviate them from other final bosses. Like despite the fact that they're all like pretty similar in a lot of the moves they have, like, and, like, some bosses are only separated by, like, the color of their laser. Like, that's the only thing that's really different between them, their attacks. Like, at least pretty much all bosses in Kirby, have, like, something to differentiate themselves from other ones. And Magolor's boat, Magolor just, like, using his ship to attack you is a really cool one. I also like the flower theme with, like, the flower in Kirby Triple Deluxe. Like, do you fight the flower in, like, as the normal final boss, or is it just Queen Sectonia and then it ends? Because I know, like, Sectonia Soul is a thing in that game. Obviously, like, most Kirby final bosses do have some sort of, like, soul form after you fight it. For, like, the True Arena or whatever. But I don't remember if that's, like, the soul form, or if that's just, like, exclusive to the soul form, that's, like, a flower, or if after Sectonia you fight a flower. But I know, because I remember, I definitely did look at a Wikipedia article that said Sectonia was the final boss of Kirby Triple Deluxe, and that Soul Sectonia was, like, true final boss of Kirby Triple Deluxe. But I don't know if, like, the flower is also, like, considered final boss of Kirby Triple Deluxe, and it's just, like, a different form of Sectonia, or if she just becomes the flower for Soul Sectonia. Like, I don't recall if, because I know Soul Sectonia is obviously, like, Sectonia plus the flower, but I don't remember if Sectonia and the flower combine in, like, normal base game for, like, base final boss. We're almost to a minute, and this Raster is evading my kills. I'm just gonna go for a real big one. Nope. Send down my puddle to extend the range. Still do not hit him. The distancing is working on me. He's got that pro, what is it? Pro distance, I guess. I don't know the term. But yeah, it's just crazy to me that, like, with all the interesting Kirby characters we have, with all these different powers, we're sort of stuck with just, like, Meta Knight, which Meta Knight is cool and all, but, like, I'd rather have Galactonite or, like, Morpho Knight too, you know? I don't want them to be limited to just skins on Meta Knight, because like, Galactonite and Morpho Knight are both very different from Meta Knight in the way they attack, and I think it'd be really cool to have, like, either of those two. But anyway, ORCANE defeats Raster and leaps out of the Air Armada ship. Just leaps off of a flying ship, that's crazy. The chairman's goods in tow. He returns with his loot to the merchant port, only to find his beloved docks in flames. He quickly sweeps Nesbit's granddaughters to safety, and puts out the flames. He learns that Merchant Port was attacked by a mad fire general on a senseless rampage. ORCANE sniffs out the trail of the fire creature, and follows it west, leaving his home in the water once again. And chapter cleared. So, that's half of them. That's 3 out of 6. And I did not expect that to take as long as it did, so I'm gonna do a different video for the other 3. So, thank you all so much for watching, EV Clan. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And this is Alex Espion, signing off.